morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the All-American Savage Show podcast. I am your host, John Burke. My beautiful beard husband just walked in, so he's probably going to join us in a little bit later for the podcast today. But thank you for tuning in and spending your morning/afternoon with us here on the show. And it's going to be a good one. We're going to do something a little different today. Let's go ahead and fade this out. We're going to do something just a little bit different today. In the wake of what was discussed yesterday in regards to Bongino versus Crenshaw, we're actually going to do some digging live on the air and do some research on this. That's a lot to get to. Right now, I've got Bongino's video pulled up. I actually reached out to Congressman Crenshaw for a statement, and essentially, I was turned on to this piece right here. Hold on, I'm gonna show you guys live. Let's do this. We're getting straight into it today, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting straight into it today. So ultimately, here's what I want. I just want the facts. I know Dan personally, and I am not the type of person that's going to showcase a bias. I've told Dan, I was like, if you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're right, you're right. I don't know Bongino personally. I've watched a few of his things. But honestly, what I want are just the facts of what's being said here. So we're actually going to do this research live today. Now, the reason for this is because I feel like there's a lot of lies on both sides. We see it showcased on the left constantly, and I think now we're starting to understand and see what the right is doing as well in regards of lies back and forth. Now, let me first read the article, and we're going to put into context what was said by both sides here, and then we're actually going to pull some stats. I've actually got a link to a voting records of members of 115th, 16th, and 17th members of Congress. And we're actually going to see where they line up in regards to their voting styles. So let me go ahead and get into this real quick. The video that Bongino showed, let's go ahead and rewatch it real quick because I want to give it context here because I think there's a lot being lost in translation between both of these people here. Both of these people say some pretty intelligent things, and I listen to a lot of what they have to say. But I feel like there's something wrong here. So let me pull it up for you, ladies and gentlemen, so y'all can listen to it one more time. Let's get into what Bongino had to say. Let me go ahead and... we're doing the research live because this is important to me. This is important to a lot of people. I feel like the people should know what's truth and what is not truth. If members of Congress are lying about their voting record, it can easily be discovered. We should be looking into this. This is something that I've actually kind of grown lazy at myself. So this is just one of those times that's like, you know what? Let's knuckle down on this one and let's actually see where the votes lie. So let's go ahead and get started with Bongino's video of Crenshaw. Well, let's talk about what Crenshaw had to say. Let's go ahead and go back to what Crenshaw was talking about. This is what Bongino posted on his page, and let's listen to it.
Congress for almost 3 years now. There's two types of members in Congress. There's performance artists, and there's legislators. Now, the performance artists are the ones that get all the attention. They're the ones you think are more conservative because they know how to say slogans real well. They know how to recite the lines that they know that our voters want to hear. Let me tell you guys something. In the first 2 years of Trump's presidency, when Republicans were in control, when every single time we were voting on Donald Trump's agenda, who do you think was at the top of that list voting with Trump, and who do you think was at the bottom? A lot of names you would recognize were at the bottom of that list. A lot of names you would recognize are at the top of that list.
Okay, sorry about the echo. I had to mute my microphone. Okay, so what Crenshaw is saying here is something that I feel like a lot of people are taking out of context. Crenshaw is saying, and please hear me out on this. This is not me advocating for Crenshaw. And if you disagree with me in the comments, you feel free. Make your points and let's discuss this live. What Crenshaw is saying is that there are a lot of members of Congress, and this is on both sides here, but there's a lot of members of Congress that are doing a lot of talking, but they're not voting in line with what they're saying. Whether they are or not, I'm not talking about that yet. We are going to get to that live together. But Crenshaw's talking about there are people that are running their mouths or essentially acting in a sense and voting differently. Can we agree upon that? Because I think Bongino took this very out of context. Just based upon what I heard Bongino talk about. And I can agree with Crenshaw on this. I think we saw Trump do it as well. We saw Trump talking about, pro-Constitution, this, that, and the other. He never made to legalize marijuana. That was a campaign promise he never agreed to. We saw that he was not a pro-2A president. He talked about take the guns, due process second, the banning of bump stocks, suppressors, types of body armor. Okay? It goes with a lot of depth. But let's go back. Let's go back on this one. And everyone is entitled to disagree. I just want the truth and I want the facts. That's all I want. So Crenshaw is saying there's a lot of people out there that are promoting themselves as being diehard conservative Republicans, yet they're voting differently. So let's continue listening to what he has to say.
Number two, it's probably going to make you cringe a little bit. It's Adam Kinzinger.
Shit, sorry, let me mute my microphone. Sorry.
Voted with Trump almost 99%. He was number two.
Okay, so they're talking about Adam Kinzinger. Adam Kinzinger got brought up because Adam Kinzinger voted against Trump or voted to pro-impeach Trump. Now, where I'm going with this is there was an article published today. Let me pause this. Sorry about this, folks. There was an article published today by CNN Politics. Yes, I told y'all before, I do read both sides of the spectrum here. CNN is very difficult to read, though, because CNN puts a lot of bullshit out there. Fox does too, but not nearly as much as Trump does. But now the CNN article talked about that the point, this conservative Republican just told an uncomfortable truth about Trump, the Trump wing in Congress. And he's basically going over the video that Crenshaw just published. Now, he was speaking at an event for the Texas Liberty Alliance PAC on Sunday. Crenshaw led into what are often believed the most conservative and most Trump-loving members of the GOP conference. Now, I do have to say this. This is very concerning to me. This is very concerning to me that already, based upon Crenshaw and Bongino, a person's status or level of conservatism is based upon, or the metric used to determine that, is based upon how in line with Trump they voted. That right there is a concern for me, because I feel like there are many things that you could probably vote against Trump that are not pro-liberty, that Trump endorsed. Does that make sense? Just because we have a conservative president and you are a member of Congress does not mean that you have to automatically vote in line with said president. Now, I do understand that if the GOP and the DNC, they come together and say, you know, we have to be united in this, we have to get this pushed forward, you got to play the game. I understand that. I get that's, you know, that's part of the game. And that's what I hate. I hate it. So I'm looking into this more now. This article talks about how there's two types of members of Congress. This is what Crenshaw was saying. Performance artists and legislators. He goes on to cite data suggesting that Illinois Representative Adam Kinzinger, an outspoken critic of Donald Trump, was actually one of the most loyal supporters of then President's agenda in 2017-2018 during the 115th Congress when Republican held the House and majority seats. Then Crenshaw drops the hammer, noting that the House Freedom Caucus members, some of the least loyal to Trump's agenda, all of them, Crenshaw insisted. Okay, so there is an actual site. It is called Tracking Congress in the Age of Trump. Oh, yeah. Rob Starkey says, in all fairness, Trump ran as a populist. Oh, 100% I agree. Absolutely. Trump's a populist. Yeah. I mean, most politicians are, though, if you think about it. You have to be in order to get elected. That's how you win the, oh, God, what did we call it last time? Oh, my God. Popularity contest. Excuse me. All right. So we have this. This is called 538. It's called projects.538.com Congress Trump score. Now, this is what I like, and I'm going to link the I'm putting the link in chat for you to actually go there yourself, and you can look it up. Now, here's the thing. I don't know who authors this site. There, I've spammed the link for you. It's projects.538.com/Congress-Trump-score/House. Now, the thing that I do like about this site, though, because I'm looking over this, like, okay, who's authoring this? Is this a bias? But they also list the voting records of each individual member of Congress, so you can go back and look yourself. So let's go ahead and pull up Adam Kinzinger. So we go to Adam Kinzinger, Art of Illinois, and it gives you the option for the 115th Congress, 116th, and the voting record in line with Trump. Now, Crenshaw is saying that Adam Kinzinger voted directly, the 115th Congress, the voting record is 99.0% in line with Trump. Crenshaw's right. In the 116th Congress, it was 83.5%. 117-0, Trump's gone. So Adam Kinzinger, basically what Crenshaw is saying, voted more in line with Trump, and yet was also vocally outspoken against Trump. Does that make sense? And I'm looking this up for the first time with y'all, so it's kind of like, okay, wait a minute. Kinzinger's voting record is more pro-Trump, but I think what a lot of GOP members have an issue with is that Kinzinger also voted in favor of impeaching Trump for the insurrection. The three things that are listed right here, it talks about January 13th or January 6th, objecting to Arizona's presidential electors. He voted no. Trump said yes. January 7th, objecting to Pennsylvania's presidential electors. Trump said yes. Kinzinger voted no. Impeaching President Trump on a charge of incitement of insurrection. Kinzinger voted yes. Those are three things that he voted against Trump on. Now, the king of the internet makes a good point. He says, well, I don't know if it's a good point, but he said he voted to impeach Trump, so that invalidates his support of Trump. But that's one countenance. Now, I am not saying I'm in agreement of or disagreement of. I am simply looking at voting records here. So what Crenshaw talked about is that Kinzinger does a lot of talking. He jabs a lot against fellow Republicans from what Bongino says, but his voting record is more pro-Trump than he likes to admit. So unless this chart is wrong, and it very well could be, this could be wrong, but if you click this, it also gives you their voting record and the date of the vote that you can go look. So maybe that's the other part that I've looked into this and it's like, okay, is this actually truthful? And this is the problem that we live with in this age. How do we know this is factual? Now it's giving the actual votes. Hold on, let me look. You click on the link and it takes you to the actual bill, so you can look that up for yourself. There's that. That's a good thing. So it kind of proves it in a sense. So national. Okay, so it also goes more in depth as far as 116 Congress, 2020. Say for example, December 28th, override President Trump's veto of the National Defense Authorization Act. Kinzinger voted yes. Trump opposed it. You click on it, and you can actually, let's see. Oh, it's not taking me to the link this time. Of course it's not. Why isn't it taking? Okay, December 28th, Kinzinger voted in favor of Trump's position, increasing coronavirus-related stimulus payments from $2,000 to $2,600, and you can actually see the bill, HR 9051-Cash Act of 2020. You can see where Kinzinger voted. So, I mean, Yeah, Redhead says, being on the January 6th committee, leaving people in jail with no bail for misdemeanor charges makes kids. No, here's the thing. I'm not saying, y'all are taking this way out of context. And this is the problem that we have right now. I'm not talking about whether or not I like Kinzinger. I'm talking about the individual statements made by Bongino and Crenshaw. Y'all are getting way ahead of me. Do I agree with the impeachment charge that people wanted to go after Trump for the incitement of January 6th? I've said that openly. No, I don't agree with that. I do not agree with that. I think Liz Cheney is an idiot. I think Kinzinger's an idiot. I do not believe Trump should be held responsible for what happened on January 6th. So let's get that into context first. What I'm talking about right now is what is being said between Bongino and Crenshaw. So let's go back to this. So Kinzinger in the 115th Congress voted 99% in favor with Trump. In the 116th Congress, 83%. So if the metric by which we judge somebody, as far as how conservative they are, is rooted in how closely they vote to the president, well, then Kinzinger is pretty much in line with Trump, except for a few things here. Look, I get what both people are saying here. Crenshaw is saying there's a lot of performers out there. There's a lot of people giving lip service, but they're voting a different way. Let's continue. So with Kinzinger, me personally, I don't agree with Kinzinger voting in favor of impeaching or accusing Trump on the incitement of insurrection. Kinzinger was wrong. Kinzinger voted in favor of it. That was January 13th, also January 7th. He did not want to object to Arizona and Pennsylvania's presidential electors. He voted no on that. So, Bongino is basically trying to say that Crenshaw is saying that Kinzinger is some kind of rock hard or rock bed Republican. That's not what he's saying. Let's go back and listen to it again. I feel like there's just a lot of things.
But a guy who really annoyed me this morning is
what you hear so often is not true. It's not true. We have grifters in our midst. Not here, not like in this room, that's not what I mean. I mean in the conservative movement. Lie after lie after lie, because they know something psychologically about the conservative heart. We're worried about what people are going to do to us, what they're going to infringe upon us.
Guy just brought up a good point. Me and Guy's like, I used to like this guy. I said, yeah, me too. I always default to liking a guy who's given so much for the country on the battlefield. But I did tell Guy day one. Guy's been here a while now.
All right, hold on. Let me find this. This is why we're doing this live. Bongino's basically saying that Crenshaw is saying that Kinzinger is a hard rock conservative. That's not what Crenshaw is saying. He's saying that Kinzinger is saying a lot of anti-Trump stuff now. Bongino's all, let me put their words into it. Let's go over this again.
Kinzinger, the guy who voted for the Trump impeachment, the loser who spends his entire day attacking Republicans.
Okay, now wait a minute. Okay, now hold on. That's what Bongino just said. I attack fellow Republicans. Does that make me any less conservative? Now, there's two things to break down here. Kinzinger voting in regard to the January 6th. I don't agree with Kinzinger on. I think Bongino is right on this one. But that's also not what Crenshaw is saying. The point that Crenshaw is making is there's a lot of people giving a lot of lip service talking about how conservative they are, but then how they vote differs from what they say. Kinzinger's flipped. He voted more in line with Trump and then was vocal against Trump. But he's also talking about members of the Freedom Caucus. And we're going to get to that because I haven't looked that up yet. We're going to look at this. And don't forget, we had control. We had the majority in the 115th Congress. Keep that in mind. Please keep that in mind. But Bongino on this one, Crenshaw's not saying that Kinzinger's a diehard Republican. He's saying based upon his voting record and then what he says are two different issues. Just like any politician is. So I think Bongino is wrong on this one when he says, he attacks these people attack fellow conservatives. It's okay to attack fellow conservatives. You need that. That's where a lot of people are getting this wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Then, let's translate the word attack. Disagreement of. I disagree with many conservatives out there. I disagree with Crenshaw. I disagree with Bongino. This is the problem that a lot of these people are pushing out here, ladies and gentlemen, that we have to be under this one umbrella of groupthink. This is dangerous to me. This is very dangerous to me. It's okay to think differently. It's all right. And we need that. We need that diversity of thought. Now, I don't agree with Kinzinger on the January 6th thing. I didn't agree with Liz Cheney. I've talked about that numerous times. Let's continue.
Here, listen to Crenshaw, and I ask again, what in Hades is going on with this guy? Talking about.
Now, real quick, I want to hear if Crenshaw calls Kinzinger a good diehard Republican, or is he making the point that Kinzinger says one thing and votes differently?
About the performers versus the legislators. Check this out.
I've been in Congress for almost 3 years now. There's two types of members in Congress. There's performance artists, and there's legislators. Now, the performance artists are the ones that get all the attention. They're the ones you think are more conservative because they know how to say slogans real well. They know how to recite the lines that they know that our voters want to hear. Let me tell you guys something. In the first 2 years of Trump's presidency, when Republicans were in control, when every single time we were voting on Donald Trump's agenda, who do you think was at the top of that list voting with Trump, and who do you think was at the bottom? A lot of names you would recognize were at the bottom of that list. A lot of names you would recognize are at the top of that list. Number two is probably going to make you cringe a little bit. It's Adam Kinzinger. Voted with Trump almost 99%. He was number two.
All right, let's fact check that. He said 99% of the time. According to this, 115th Congress, when we were in control, 99.9% or 99.0% of the time. Crenshaw's right. The point that he's making is the difference between performers and legislators. He's right on that one. Let's continue. Can we all agree on that? Is this point wrong? Because I want to take this point by point by point, ladies and gentlemen. It says right here, the 115th Congress, Adam Kinzinger, his score is 99%. And yes, first 2 years. 116th Congress, 83.5%. That's like a B average. Yeah, unless the website is wrong. Well, here's the thing, though. Like, you can go and look at these individual things here, and I've linked this for you. So, if anybody can prove this website is faulty, by all means, DM me, because I do want an accurate metric. But if you go and you look at the things that Kinzinger voted no on, you can actually see the bill and where he voted. I like how these people are thinking, though. Agreed, bearing any issues with the site. I like that because I think the same way. It's like, I don't know, because I got to like, where's this coming from? Who's off? But I like that it shows you the bills. It's taken you the actual bill from congress.gov. Yeah, Larry always says, if you go by that scorecard, which we don't I'm right there with you, but this is what I'm going off of. Because Bongino goes off of a Liberty score. Again, who's the author of that one? That's the problem. But at least this one is showcasing the bills that he voted yes or no on. So you have the proof. I haven't looked at this Liberty one, this Liberty report. So let's keep going with this.
But a guy who really annoyed me this morning. Joe's the godfather of the operation, and the financial arrangement with them whatsoever.
Names you would recognize are at the bottom of that list. A lot of names you would recognize are at the top of that list. Number 2 is probably going to make you cringe a little bit. It's Adam Kinzinger. Voted with Trump almost 99%. He was number 2. You know who's at the bottom? Everybody in the Freedom Caucus. All of them. What you hear so often is not.
Wait a minute. Mike says, you're missing the point, John. He voted to impeach. That one act alone disqualifies him for any office regardless of how he voted with Trump. Wait, now hold on. That doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I get what you're saying, but would you rather have a politician that votes overwhelmingly majority in favor of your agenda and then on occasion votes no versus the opposite? Or do you want complete alignment? Complete alignment's never going to happen. You're never going to have somebody that's going to vote 110% in your party or in your favor all the time. Or if you do, you've got a loyalist. He's basically saying that Kinzinger voted more in line with Trump than a lot of people that were pro-freedom, whether you agree with that or not. He's saying that Kinzinger voted more in line with Trump's agenda in the 115th Congress when there was control. Let's look at Romney, for example. I want to look at Romney. And then I want to go to the Freedom Caucus that Crenshaw is discussing here. I want to go to the Freedom Caucus he brings up. But let's go look at Mitt Romney. Senator Mitt Romney. I've got to. Okay, so in the 116th Congress, he was 78.6% in line with Trump. And objecting to Arizona's electors, he said no. Objecting to Pennsylvania, he said no. Overriding Prince, he said yes. That's interesting. So the 116th Congress, he was 78% in line with Trump. So now we talk about voting record versus outspokenness regarding Trumpism stuff. I think what it boils down to here is what's doing more damage. Being vocally outspoken against or in favor of, or actual voting records where things actually get passed and turned into law. Somebody says voting for impeachment is serious and not just an asterisk. I agree. That's basically saying you're ignoring facts and logic and you're going with emotional rhetoric. I agree. But still, the point still stands. He voted 99% in line with Trump's values in the 115th Congress. This is Kinzinger, not Romney. All right, let's go into the Freedom Caucus because Crenshaw talks about the Freedom Caucus. Let's continue on.
But a guy who really annoyed me this morning.
Infringe upon us.
He just brought up a good point. Me and Gee's like,
At the bottom, everybody in the Freedom Caucus. All of them. What you hear so often is not true.
All right, he's talking about the Freedom Caucus. Now, in this article from CNN, and I know, before you freak out, I know it's CNN. I don't trust them with a grain of salt, but let's verify this. In the 115th Congress, Kinzinger, that scourge of all Trumpists voted in line with Trump position 99% of the time. That's true. This is fact. It's provided that the website is not a biased website. And again, the votes that show that he didn't, you can click on the link and it takes you to the bill where you can verify personally. All right. And some of the least supportive members, and this is from the article, and some of the least members of the Trump agenda over the same time were in fact members of the Freedom Caucus. There was Arizona Rep. Andy Biggs, who backed the Trump position just 72.9% of the time. Let's go look at this. Andy Biggs, representative at Arizona, 115th Congress, voted 72.9% in line with the Trump agenda. 116th Congress, 93%. Impeaching President Trump of the charge, he said no. Objecting to presidential electors, he said yes. Objecting to Arizona's, he said yes. So overall score, he's got an 82% in the Freedom Caucus based upon his voting record. What's the next person? That's 82%. That's Andy Biggs. I'm writing this down. Andy Biggs, 82.9%. That's the first one, 82. And don't forget, according to the standard, you got to be voting in line with Trump's agenda 100% in order to be considered conservative. So let's move on to the next name. Who backed the Trump positions just 72.9% of the time. Total was actually 89, or 82%. And fellow Arizona Rep. Paul Gosar. Paul Gosar. Let's look up Paul. Paul Gosar, represented Arizona. Career is 86.1%. It was predicted he'd be at 93%. 115th Congress, he voted 77% of the time with Trump. 116, 95%. Mike Thomas actually has a good point here. He says, I believe Dan Bongino said the reason Kinzinger voted along with Trump is that most of these bills were spending bills, which is what the Democrats are all about. Also, Trump was hamstrung by the Democrats and rhinos. He couldn't get anything done they would agree with. But by what Bongino had talked about, though, in regards to voting records, that's actually the opposite. Does that make sense? I get what you're saying. Spending bills and such. But also don't forget in the 115th Congress, we had control. We had the majority. And even in the 115th Congress, he was at 77% on the Freedom Caucus. This is Paul A. Gosar out of Arizona. Does that make sense? Because I think a lot of what they did when they had the majority speaks volumes about how they really are. When you have the majority and you do nothing, that says a lot. Let's continue. Maybe I'm off on that one, but that's where I'm standing on that right now. Next we have, I want to look up Liz Cheney. Where's she at? Republican of Wyoming. 115th Congress, when we had the majority, 95%. 116th Congress, 92%. Her career in regards to Trump's agenda was 92%. She was in favor of impeaching Trump. Objecting to Pennsylvania's elector, she said no. Objecting to Arizona's elector, she said no. She was against Trump on those big three things. Overriding President Trump's veto of the National Defense Authorization Act, she said yes. Increasing coronavirus-related stimulus payments from $2,000 from $600. She said no. There's a lot to this, ladies and gentlemen. She didn't vote for expanding the national apprenticeship system, providing money for clean energy research, changing rules for energy efficiency. She didn't vote. She said no on allowing lawsuits against discrimination in education programs regardless of officials' intent. She said no, providing additional money to U.S. Postal Service and prohibiting the agency from making certain changes. There's a lot here. There's a lot here. Let's continue. So, Paul Gosar, let me go back to Paul Gosar. His voting history was 86% total. This is by virtue of their voting record. The metric by which we're grading this from what Bongino talked about, or what he's talking about Crenshaw, is the framework of speaking about it versus your voting record. So let's continue. Let me go back to Adam Kinzinger. What was his total? His total was 90%. Kits, 90% in line with the Trump agenda. Total, 99% under the 15th, 150th Congress. Keep that in mind. So Kinzinger rated higher than Andy Biggs, Paul Gosar. Who else? Who else we got here? And I'm not picking sides on this one. I just want the truth. I just want truth. Trump, Texas Representative Louis Gohmert. Louis Gohmert. Let's go look up Louis. Louis Gohmert out of Texas. Career, 86.1%. The 115th Congress, we have majority, 80% in line with Trump. 91% in the 116th Congress. Total career, 86.1%. Let's go to the next one. Representative Matt Gaetz out of Florida. Let's pull this one up. Ladies and gentlemen, I have not looked into this prior to this show. I saw the article. I saw the metrics. Like, let's do this live. Matt Gaetz, Republican out of Florida. 115th Congress, 81% of the time voted in favor of the Trump agenda. 116th Congress, 89%. Career, 85%. Kinzinger's got more in line with Trump's agenda, per se. Let's continue. Mo Brooks. Let's look into him. We've got Ralph Norman. All right, let's look at Mo Brooks. Career, 88%. 115th Congress, when we had the majority, 83%. 116th Congress, 93%. Things he opposed: impeachment of Trump. He said no. Objecting to presidential electors on Arizona and Pennsylvania, he voted yes, both of them. So he opposed Trump's position one time on that one. He opposed Trump's veto of the national, or he override Trump's veto of the National Defense Authorization Act. December 28th of 2020. Okay. So again, his career, 88.6%. Ladies and gentlemen, if I'm getting something wrong here, tell me in the comments, because I don't want to be wrong on this. There's a lot of people that listen to the show, and I do not want to mislead them. A lot of limiting factors. There is, but I'm going by what Bongino was talking about. Look at the model. It's prone to error. Just saying agreeing to Trump is a collective thing. Same with opposing. Each senator is voting not on the collective, but for their own state's reasons. This model is flawed as it looks only. No, I agree with you. But I'm talking about the framing of this argument from what Bongino is saying and what Crenshaw is saying. Does that make sense? I get what you're talking about, and that makes sense to me. Yeah, and they should. Because if you're elected to represent a constituency base, that's who you should be in favor of representing. I get that. But we're talking about in regards to people saying one thing and doing another. I hope that makes sense. Ralph Norman, or Ralph, hold on, where's he at? Norman, okay, here we go. 90% career. 115th Congress, when we had control, 83% in line with Trump. 116th, 95%. 117th, 100%. Total overall score is 90. So when I'm looking at what Crenshaw is saying versus what Bongino is saying, I'm seeing a lot of conflicting things here. So I guess what people should basically say, or should be asking ourselves, what makes somebody a good conservative? Is it voting in line with Trump's agenda, which I disagree with? Because I think it should be on an issue or a case-by-case basis. Let's look up Crenshaw. Look at Crenshaw stats. Career is 88%. 116th Congress when he first went in was at 90% in favor of Trump's agenda. And when I say Trump's agenda, I mean all the bills that Trump supported. 117th Congress, 33%. Crenshaw said no. Impeaching Trump on charge of insurrection, he said no. Objecting to presidential electors from Pennsylvania, Arizona, he voted no twice on Arizona and Pennsylvania. So he didn't vote in favor of Trump impeachment, but he did not want to object to the presidential electors in Pennsylvania and Arizona. He did vote against Trump in the overriding of the veto for the National Defense Authorization Act. He said increasing. He agreed with Trump. He said no. In regards to upping the stimulus payment from $600 to $2,000, he said no. Pandemic aid bill, he said yes. And also keep in mind that when you talk about a very quick headline to the bill, there's more to the bill than just the headline. The bill, and that's the other part that a lot of people don't understand, the bill is not just for one various thing. For people that are asking for the website, here's the website for you to go look at yourself. You can verify yourself. There it is right there. I'm spamming it in the chat. All right, let's get back to what Bongino was talking about here.
But a guy who really annoyed me this morning is this congressman who's given so much for the country. Adam, because Dan Crenshaw says Kinzinger is some bedrock legislator we should be looking up to. His Liberty score out of 1 to 100 was an astounding 45%.
Okay, so his Liberty score. Okay, well, number one, Crenshaw didn't say that about Kinzinger. He's talking about voting record versus what people say. Kinzinger, again, his career, 90% in line with the Trump agenda. Now, I want to talk about the website in which Bongino is using as his metric. I can't see what Bongino's trying to say here. I don't understand it. Let's continue listening. Maybe I got this wrong. I don't know.
45. Joe, now you and I went to school in different eras, but was 40, remember it. Conservative Review's Liberty score. If you ever want to see.
All right. Conservative Review, Liberty score. Let's pull this up. Conservative Review, Liberty score. I want to know what the metric of grade. Okay. Liberty score, conservativereview.com. I'm going to pull this up for you guys to see.
But a guy who really annoyed me this morning is this Congressman Crenshaw.
Oh, God. Hold on. There we go.
But a guy who really annoyed me this morning.
All right. So Liberty score, Conservative Review scorecard. Now, this is my first time looking at this, ladies and gentlemen. I have never seen this before. Liberty score. So you can essentially click on the state, and it's going to tell you the score of Liberty score. So if I click on Texas, Representative Al Green, Democrat, pops up. He's got a 6%. Representative August Pfluger has got an 83%. He's GOP. Representative Beth Van Duyen has got 85%. Okay, so what's the metric of grading this Liberty score? I need to understand this. Because it's not telling me. Liberty score powered by Conservative Review. So conservatives are running this. Now, yeah, Al Green's an idiot. I know. Mr. Crybaby on the congressional floor. I get it. Al Green, 6%. Eddie Johnson, 6%. Veronica Escobar, 6%. These are all Democrats. Naturally, they're liberal. I mean, Joaquin Castro, this douchebag, 10%. I get it. But where's this Liberty score being generated from? Like, off of what bills? That's the thing that confuses me. Does anybody know that's watching right now how they determine where your Liberty score stands? Is this opinion-based or a metric that's actually rooted in statistics? Like, what constitutes an actual... You have to see why the Freedom Caucus did not vote for those. Yeah, I agree. But again, we're talking about the framework presented by Bongino and Crenshaw. We're not talking about how it actually is in regards to what the Freedom Caucus did want to do versus what they didn't. We're talking about Bongino. This is getting a little confusing to me here. McConnell's... Hold on, we got all various different states. And naturally, well, you got a GOP member here. You got Bill Cassidy with a 53%. You got Steve Scalise with 57%. Voting records on constitutional issues. Is that so? Where is this at on the actual web? I'm trying to find this. I just want to see what the metric is. Okay, hold on. Maybe okay. Conservative Review. This is. It looks like a. This is a media site. Conservative Review is a media site. I didn't know that. Get the Conservative Review delivered right to your inbox. Newsletter, Liberty Score, contact terms, privacy, Liberty Score. This doesn't seem like an independent, unbiased. I don't know. It's run by Blaze TV. Oh, never mind. Oh, God damn it. I didn't know that. So that's concerning. I just want the truth. I just want facts. It's all I want. I don't want bias. Because when you give me a Liberty Score, what constitutes being pro-liberty? Pro-constitutional? Well, if that's the case, this is bothersome to me. The bottom of the website, hold on. Blaze Media, LLC. So now we look at the metric by which we're measuring could be bias. In fact, I'm pretty sure it probably is bias. Bongino's quoting a biased website here. What the fuck am I supposed to say to this? I mean... Now, here's the thing. I'm hoping maybe it's not bias. Maybe Blaze Media is actually quoting. Yeah, that's the other thing. Is where does Blaze Media get the information? I want to know. That's the other thing. Terms of use, private content. I want to know where Blaze Media is pulling this information from. This is concerning to me. Because at the same time, to be fair, I don't know who's running the 538 website, but I do know when you click on the votes pro or against, it actually links you to the bill, which is far more than what this other website is doing. This is annoying as fuck to me. And it's not just me. Where does the common American go to get actual truth? So at this point, I don't fucking know, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. I hate saying that, but I don't know. If we can figure out where Conservative Review is, so why? Wait, so Blaze Media also owns Conservative Review? Blaze Media LLC, all rights reserved. So why do they have why have this and Blaze Media? Why not just fold it into one? Scores are calculated using congressional votes as well as sponsorship of pro-liberty bills. Voting with a pro-liberty position earns either 1, 2, or 3 points depending on the weight of the vote, which could still... That's still opinion-based, though. So what's going to warrant a 1, 2, or 3 score? What's the determining factor in regards to your actual liberty score? Look, I got to go back to the other website, the 538. Based upon your individual vote, and I know that this is also kind of flawed because you can vote in favor majority of, but we're not looking into the individual bills. But this is in regards to voting in favor of the Trump agenda. And what I'm seeing, Crenshaw's not wrong. The stats Crenshaw used. Now, the one thing I kind of don't agree in regards to the Freedom Caucus, being at the bottom of the list, Bongino's using the Liberty Score, which I think is opinion-based. I'm looking at the voting record. We're talking about, and let's go back to Kinzinger. And again, career is 90% in line with Trump agenda. 115th Congress, 99%. He voted in favor of impeaching Trump, and he was not in support of objecting to Arizona and Pennsylvania's presidential electors. Thomas Carpenter just posted. Okay, hold on, Thomas. Let me look at it. He said, where'd you post it, bro? He said, just post the link that explains it. Hold on. You got to question everything these days. Where is... Thomas, can you repost that link for me, please? I'm scrolling up. I can't find it, sir. John is all in Crenshaw's nuts. You can't even... You're trying to sit there and, I knew people like you would come out. I'm literally giving you statistics and facts here, and you're accusing me of being on Crenshaw's nuts. If you click on the names, and let me go back and look. Let's go to Texas. Okay, good. Never mind. I'm seeing that. Okay. Hold on. This goes more in depth. All right, let's go back. You got to love that. You're all up on Crenshaw's nuts. And I'm sitting there looking. It's like, I'm looking at statistics. You're not. I mean, come on. You just don't like it because if I agree on Crenshaw, you don't like him for other things. That's how you people are. You are so biased in your own thinking. That if I don't fully agree or fully disagree, you think that I'm all up on their nuts or I'm just totally against. It's not so black and white. Christ almighty, you people are fucking retarded. How many times have I sat here on the show and told you I don't agree with everything Trump said and I don't disagree with it? It's a case-by-case issue. And we're refuting the individual things that Crenshaw and Bongino are saying. So when you come in, you say, you're all up on Crenshaw's nuts. I disagree with Crenshaw on many things. I've had him on the show and disagreed with him. But that's not enough for you, is it? You want complete partisanship. You want complete GOP agreement is what you want. And that's why you are no different than the left when it comes to blind loyalty. You sound like a Trumper, that you'll never disagree with Trump, even though I've showed you so many times where Trump was wrong on certain issues I disagreed with, and then where he was right on issues I agreed with. You got to love that. Let's keep going. Okay, so the Liberty Score. Oh, my God. Let's compare this to the other website. So we have, for example, Adam Kinzinger, Illinois 16th District. There he is. Okay, 45% GOP. Let's click on this. Okay. Wait, this is also under the Biden administration here too. Ah, crap. Okay, now we're changing the time frame in which we're looking at this. Liberty score is 45. 44 in line with conservatism, 55% with liberals. Conservatives 44. Hold on. So now this is all the way through under the Biden administration as well. The other one was under the Trump administration only. Okay, so let's start from the get-go here. Okay. 2021, 1202. Fund Joe Biden's progressive agenda and federal vaccine mandates through February 18th, blah, blah, blah. CR position, no. Member voted yes. But if I click this, it's not giving me the bill. Raise the debt limit to 28, blah, blah, blah. He voted no. Sign women up for the draft National Defense Authorization Act. He voted yes. CR position voted no. Wait, this conservative review position. You're basing this off of the authors of the conservative review? But wait, now hold on. Sign women up for the draft the National Defense Authorization Act. Is that not? No, let's take this. Oh, Thomas Carbon, I'm sorry. There it is. Okay, got it. I got it. Hold on. I see it. Hold on. Okay, Return to X, a libertarian weblog dedicated to stopping the death of democracy in the American Republican. Conservative Review is a Liberty Score website. Thanks to Graham Ledger for introducing his One American News audience, Conservative Review website. Website provides a scorecard showing the voting record of every member of his House and the Senate up to 50 votes on up to 50 votes of significance over a rolling 6-year period. Wait, so it's only picking up to 50 votes? This isn't all voting. It's just up to 50 votes of significance over a rolling 6-year period. So that's your time frame. Up to 50 votes over a 6-year period. The majority or the bigger bills. is what I'm understanding here, which again is flawed. Since all votes are individually listed, each reader can decide for themselves what a proper vote should be, not just see. So this is bias. Okay, let's look at this one thing right here. This has me questioning the authenticity of all of this. Say, for example, okay, sign women up for the draft, National Defense Authorization Act. This is 2021-924. CR's position is no. I'm assuming that means Conservative Review's position is no. What makes them the authority on constitutional equality? In my mind, yes, absolutely. You want equality, you got it. Women should be signed up for the draft. Kinzinger voted in favor of. I agree. Liberty Score says no. Therefore, it's not. Yeah, I can't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. This website is bias. This is very biased. Bongino is using a biased website. Let's continue. Roe v. Wade and federal law and states restriction on abortions. CR says no. Kinzinger vote no. Overhaul U.S. elections to invalidate state election integrity laws. Both vote no. Wait, this can't. Wait, what? No, this can't be right. This doesn't make sense. Gun control. Require new universal background checks and effectively outlaw private gun transfers. Okay, Kinzinger's wrong on this one. He voted in favor of. But again, if I click this, it's not showing me the bill. Gun control. That kind of bothers me a little bit. What else? Okay, so-called COVID relief bill and 1.4 trillion special interest spending. CR says no. Kinzinger said yes. The gag and vote for small business. Okay, let's keep going. Cut $10 million from the EPA. Okay. So now we're getting back to the 115th Congress. 2017. Stop subsidizing airline tickets. CR said yes. Kinzinger said no. Cut $10 million from the EPA. CR says yes. Kinzinger said no. Increase spending by $81 billion. CR says no. Member voted yes. Spending on what, though, per se? Did Bongino used to work for the Blaze? Crenshaw wants red flag law. Crenshaw came out and he changed his position on this. He changed his position. We talked to Crenshaw about this. You're using antiquated information. He changed his position. And I didn't agree with him on that one either. Okay, vote alert, massive spending, dealing, debt ceiling raise, and Democrat priorities funded. This is not giving me specifics, though. And I agree, yes, he should never have the position. I agree. I'm in agreement with you. Yes, he never should have had that position. I disagree. Y'all remember, I called him out on this. Do y'all not remember this? That's how I first actually met Crenshaw, because he and I went head-to-head in the comments on my Instagram. I said, you're wrong. Do y'all not remember that? Oh, how quickly people forget. You're all up on Crenshaw's nuts. I called him out for this. Christ almighty, how quick y'all forget. All up on Crenshaw's nuts. And the other thing was, a lot of people were mad that I didn't attack him when he came on the show. I'm not going to attack a guest. I'm going to respectfully disagree. Otherwise, the guest is never going to come back. I would love to have AOC on the show. I'm not going to attack her. I'm going to have an actual discussion. I will disagree with her. I think she's an idiot. Don't get me wrong. Extent a broken, almost individual flood insurance program. He says yes, no. Pass a prominent break in cannabis before election. So wait a minute. Okay, hold on. There's also something here I don't understand. CR isn't voting. Okay, so if we're looking at the 115th Congress, based upon the statistics of what we're seeing, Kinzinger had a 99% in favor of the Trump agenda spending plan, or 100 in Trump's agenda regarding everything, all encompassing. According to the Liberty Score, they disagree with Kinzinger on a lot. So I think they have their own metric of what's determined to be actual conservative, or yeah, this is confusing to me. I don't know. I don't know. That's weird. Pass a $555 billion Christmas minibus spending spree. That's not. You see, you kind of devalue the authenticity of your website when you use wording like that. A $555 billion Christmas minibus spending spree. What does that even mean? What bill is this? The gag and vote. Okay, we talked about that one. I should probably clarify the gag part. Pass massive amnesty for illegal aliens with no border security. Both voted no. Pass a $19 billion spending bill without funding for the border crisis. CR says no. All right. Look, I can't verify this, ladies and gentlemen. It's not giving me links to the actual bills. I can't take this is an opinion column. It's an opinion column. Yeah. Sorry, I can't take this seriously. I mean, I get what they're trying to do here, but at the same time, if you're basing your Liberty score off of opinion, I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, all I know is this. On this website here, we have two different websites, and we should be doubtful of both. But on the 538, you can at least see where they voted no. You click the link, and it takes you to the actual bill. I want to see the actual bill. Over on the 538 website, we still have Adam Kinzinger pulled up. We can go look and see where he disagreed. He opposed Trump. Providing additional money to the U.S. Postal Service and prohibiting the agency from making certain changes. Trump opposed it. Kinzinger voted no as well. National Defense Authorization Act. Trump opposed it. Kinzinger said yes. Let's click on the bill. Representative Adam Smith introduced bill, House Armed Services Committee. Procurement. The bill authorizes appropriations to the DOT for procurement of including aircraft, weapons, tracked combat vehicles, blah, blah, research, development, test, and evaluate, operation, maintenance, work, capital funds, chemical agents, munitions, destruction. So it's a pro-military spending bill. Now that could be designed saying, are we putting too much into the military-industrial complex? But based upon this bill, Kinzinger voted yes. Trump said no. Now that's open for interpretation, whether you want to say that's voting in line with the conservatism or not. Because I think in a lot of conservative circles, they are very pro-military, big military. Most libertarian platforms are medium or shrunk. Excuse me. Now, I could have that one wrong. But Kinzinger is voting pro more big military spending. Let's see where they disagree again. Okay, changing the standard for demonstrating age discrimination. Trump opposed. Kinzinger said yes. Let's look into this. The bill amends the Age Discrimination in Employment Act of 1967 to establish as an unlawful employment practice that the age or participation in investigations, proceedings, or litigation under such act were a motivation factor for any unlawful employment practice, even though other factors also motivated the practice there, blah, 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 blah. Permits a complaining party to rely on any type of form of admissible evidence which need only be sufficient for a reasonable tier to... Okay, so this is a lot. This is a lot going into this. The overall point here, though, ladies and gentlemen, Bongino's saying one thing. He's using a metric that's this Liberty website that does seem to be politically biased. This other website, I have to put more trust in this because it's actually showing me the bills where Kinzinger voted yes or no. Crenshaw's not wrong, but also I don't agree with him fully on the whole caucus thing, the Freedom Caucus, because the members he already quoted actually have a decent voting record. Paul Gosar, 86%. Let's look this up. Crap. Where was that on the website? Shit, I should not have. I still got it. Okay, cool. Okay, based upon their voting record, let's look at this. Let's look at, say, for example, okay, let's pull up Kinzinger. He's got a 44% score, or a Liberty score of 45. Well, wait, hold on. Shit. That's also under the Biden presidency as well. I think the determining factor would be essentially having the same time frame of when an elected politician came into Congress under the Trump administration and then stops the voting record after Trump left, just so we can have a side-by-side metric, not where they voted under the Biden administration. Although I know it still showcases whether or not they're a true conservative or whatever the case may be. But you get what I'm saying? It should be the same time frame period. So the Liberty score could be also that they're using to base off of Kinzinger also falls under the 9-10 months of the Biden administration, to include also Trump's administration. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I'm probably not explaining that very well. Meaning if we're going to do a side-by-side comparison of this website, Liberty Score, to the other one, it needs to be the same time frame. I hope that makes sense. Rolling count, yeah, thank you. But this is under the Biden administration as well. But during the time frame under the Trump era, Kitts has got a 90% voting record in line with Trump's. You hear, that's it. That's all I can really say, ladies and gentlemen. You take that for what you want. I agree partially with Crenshaw. There's a lot of politicians that give a lot of lip service, and they vote a different way. I don't agree with Kinzinger. I don't agree in voting in favor of the Trump impeachment. I think it's wrong. He also voted against the electors of Arizona and Pennsylvania. These are three big issues that he voted against Trump. Does that make him any less of a conservative? Oh, wait. Does it? Well, hold on. Somebody said it looks like you can choose the year. Can you? Wait. Where? Where can you choose the years? On the Liberty score. Liberty score of 45%. I hate performative politics. Now step aside as I skydive out of an airplane to make a movie trailer campaign ad, Dan Crenshaw. Well, hold on. Wait a minute. You're confusing that. I hate performative politics. He's basically saying a politician that says one thing and does another. That's a performative politician. He actually said that. Now, in regards to him stepping out of a skydiving an airplane to make a movie trailer ad campaign, that's utilizing effective social media to reach a younger demographic. That's actually brilliant. That's utilizing social media in a smart fashion. What you just said there makes no sense, and you conflated two issues that are not the same. Crenshaw is talking about politicians. Now, this is whether I agree. It doesn't matter. This is what Crenshaw is saying. There are many politicians out there that are saying one thing and voting a different way. That's what he's talking about. Now, Bongino saying you're out there doing these campaign ads, yes, because it's getting the voter base ignited. That's exactly what you want. Look at Trump's ad campaigns. They were amazing. They were incredible. So I'm not sure what you're really getting at there. You can agree with both people. You can agree with Crenshaw and Bongino, and you can disagree with both. It's okay. It doesn't make them bad people. I disagree with Bongino on this one. I don't really necessarily agree with Crenshaw on the caucus votes because they are actually not bad. Ralph 90%, Mo Brooke 88%, Gates 85%. I mean, these aren't really bad stats. Andy Biz 82%. I don't know. You can compare 538's bias to Blaze TV bias, but that seems like a good website to use on 538 for something. Yeah, BW, I wish I had something that was just like we knew 100% it was unbiased, but the only thing that differs here is the 538 website will actually list the bill versus the other one, that it seems to be opinion-based. Does Trump on there, I wonder? That'd be kind of funny. No, probably not, because this is just for members of Congress, not the presidency. It's not going to show, yeah. It's not going to show Trump. Okay, the other website link for y'all to come review is here, so you can see for yourself. Let me spam. This is the Liberty report that Bongino is referencing. Stephen Hunt, let me talk about Crenshaw supporting expanded power to CDC and a registry. Okay, so Crenshaw addressed this one. I need to actually look at this bill. Crenshaw saying it's not what a lot of conservatives are saying. Can somebody list this bill? Fuck it. Let's just look into this right now, too. Because people ask me about this. I haven't looked into this. If that is true, then I disagree with Crenshaw. I am not, but basically, what Crenshaw was saying, he addressed it and said, basically, this is to restrict the funding going to these things. So it sounds like we have two different people saying two different things. Let me look at the bill. Let's see what the bill says. Or you look into the bill, which is what you should be doing. I've never done anything like this before. Like I'm researching stuff live with you guys, so you can actually see what the stats are. And the thing is, I still can't fully commit that these stats are 100% accurate because I don't know who authors this website. I just don't like being lied to. I don't like facts being misrepresented. I don't like being red herringed. That bothers me. And in this day and age, we have to be very careful with what everybody's saying. Yeah, you can choose which Congress it is. Like, look, the tracking Congress, yeah, you can look. It says for the terms that this politician is in office, 115th Congress, 116th, 117th. 117th, Trump being out, there's a 0%. Does that make sense? So there you go. Yeah, well, you see, Gregory, he actually makes a point. He says the best source of accurate information would be go to congress.gov and filtering the information. You're 100% right. But look, on this 737, Jesus Christ, the 538, you can actually click on it and it takes you there. It takes you to the specific bill on congress.gov. So the only question I would have is, are they listing every single bill this representative voted on? And I think they are. And yeah, Andrew, this is it. So look, if you ever have any questions on where they voted for or what the stand, it's congress.gov. You can pull up bills and stuff there. So this 538 website, when you click on the individual link, say, for example, it says August 22nd, 2020, providing additional money to the U.S. Postal Service, blah, 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 blah. You click on the link, it takes you directly to congress.gov and the actual bill itself. Does that make sense? There's a lot to it. Look, overall point, I think Bongino's off. I can't agree with him fully on that. I think he's using the Liberty Report as a biased metric of grading somebody's liberty stance based upon actual voting records. I got to go with the 538. But I'm not saying I agree with Adam Kinzinger. I'm not saying that at all. I do not think, I've said this before, we watched it live on the show. I don't agree that Trump incited that riot. I don't agree with that. I think Kinzinger was way off. But then Bongino talks about how Kinzinger's attacking fellow Republicans, and he frames it in the context of Republicans, real Republicans don't do that. That's not true. We do need that. That's how you come together and you have these discussions. Like, if anything, Bongino should bring Crenshaw on his show and interview him. And let's have a discussion. That should be what we do. Then we can get to the root of this. .530 is saying the exact thing you oppose. It's saying that he voted for or with Trump, which wasn't always conservative. Now, this is talking about in the framework of, are they pro-Trump, the Trump agenda? Conservatism be damned. I mean, you're right. Trump did a lot of things that were not rooted in conservatism. But this is what Bongino is talking about in regards to being aligned with the Trump agenda or not. Does that make sense? Like, I get where you're framing the conversation. I'm talking about the framing that Bongino provided and then what Crenshaw's provided. It's a lot to take in. That's what she said. All right. We're going to leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. Look, you've got the websites. Make up your own opinion on this matter. I don't know. I'm looking at the voting record here. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's more to this that I'm just not understanding. But the one thing that does concern me is that we should not be of the mindset that if you vote against Trump, you're automatically not a real conservative. I disagree with that. If you're voting in favor with Trump has said, it doesn't make you a Trump loyalist. But when Trump is clearly wrong and somebody will not go against it, turning point, you're a loyalist. I can't take you seriously. Now, I don't know much about Bongino. Has he ever disagreed with Trump publicly? I hope he has. Has Bongino ever disagreed with Trump? I should ask Josh. Josh is a Bongino fan. Crenshaw has disagreed with Trump, but by virtue of disagreeing with Trump doesn't make you a good conservative. I'm just saying on the important issues. Crenshaw was also wrong on red flag laws. It's not so black and white. There's a lot of gray area in this. But it also requires a little bit of individual research for the person. So, I don't know. Tiki Skull says, John, are you saying that we should not be sheep and do our own research, then come up with our 100%? 100%. So Bongino has a screw Trump. Good. That makes me happy to hear that. That makes me happy to hear. At least he's not a loyalty guy or a loyalist. I appreciate that. I like that. That gives him a little bit more credit, in my opinion. All right. I should have Shapiro on. Y'all give me some high praise here. I don't know these people. I wish I could. I'd love to have Shapiro on. I do like Ben Shapiro. I do like Bongino. I like Crenshaw. I don't like some of what each of them has to say, and I'm pretty sure if they watch my show, they're not going to like some of what I have to say. It's okay. But on individual things like this, if you go on Bongino's, the post on his Instagram, I think like he led a lot of people wrong on this one. And that's concerning. Because when it comes to voter turnout, this could potentially have an impact. Yeah. All right, I'm going to leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen. Crenshaw also said he's going to come back on the show more towards Christmas, and we will we'll delve back into this. I reached out to him. He gave me some talking points that he basically stands with, but he's going to come back on close to Christmas, and we'll get more into this. Look, all I'm saying is this. When these influencers, regardless of which side it is, like, say, for example, the vaccine database things, a lot of these Republicans are accusing Crenshaw of voting in favor of, yada, yada, yada. Look, I haven't even seen this bill yet, but does it not rub anybody the wrong way when 80 House Republicans vote in favor of it? Does that not ring a bell? And saying, like, wait a minute, if there's a large percentage of conservatives voting in favor of it, okay, maybe there's some validity to it. But if it was like onesies and twosies, like, wait a minute. Kind of like the whole Trump impeachment thing. Was it like 10 Republicans voted in favor? 11? 80 Republicans voted in favor. Maybe people are lying in regards to what that bill represents. Crenshaw said that bill is to limit funding to these databases that are already established. I have to go look. I don't know. But does that not ring a bell to anybody? Say 80 Republicans voted for this? Are 80 Republicans wrong? I got to go look it up. I don't know. But it does sound a little off the mark with me. HR 550. So here we go. Thank you. Thank you for posting that. Okay, let's look into this right now. Let's just delve into this. Okay. This bill passed in the House on November 30th, 20, and it goes to the Senate next for consideration. Okay, HR 55, Immunization Infrastructure Modernization Act of 2021. Let's go pull this up. Let's go look at what this bill actually says. Let's go do the research ourselves. Okay, congress.gov. Let's go type in the bill. HR 550. Okay, this is 2021. Representative Custer, Democrat of New Hampshire, co-sponsored. Oh, shit, there's a lot of them here. Son of a bitch. HR 550. Let's click on that. Okay, Representative Custer, Democrat, introduced bill. House. Okay, so the bill directs the Department of Health and Human Services to take actions to improve data sharing and other aspects of immunization information systems. These are confidential, population-based database that maintain a record of vaccine administrations. Specifically, HHS must develop a strategy and plan to improve these systems, including systems supported by the Centers for Disease Control Prevention, designate data and technology standards for use in these systems, and award grants to health departments and other government agencies to improve their systems. As a conditioning of receiving the grants, recipients must use the designated standards. However, HHS may waive this condition in some circumstances. HHS must also report to Congress on these activities. Instantly, I do not like the way this sounds. I'm reading this stuff, and it's very... expanding CDC and public health department capabilities. In general, the secretary shall conduct activities, including with respect to interoperability, populating, resorting by... holy shit. Agency of state, local, tribal, territorial government. Damn. There's a lot here. This doesn't look good. Again, specifically, bill directs Department of Health and Human Services to take actions to improve data sharing and other aspects of immunization information systems. These are confidential. So wait. I don't like the way this sounds. Bill summaries are authored by the CRS. Bill summaries, click on that. Yeah, data sharing is something that does concern me as well. I don't like that. I don't know if I like this at all, but I'm trying to see an actual breakdown of the bill. There are two summaries of HR 5550 House passed. 1130. Okay, so the 12821 is the most recent. Or no, I'm sorry, 1130. It was introduced. Oh, this is introduced back in January 28th of 2021. Committees, Energy and Commerce, State, Health, Education, Labor, Pensions. Let's look at text. I know this is probably boring to the common listener. I know this is not very informative, but if you're watching on Twitch or YouTube, you're actually seeing what I'm seeing. Okay, to amend so HR 550, an act to amend the Public Health Service Act with respect to immunization system data modernization and expansions, and for other purposes. Being enacted by the Senate, okay. Section 1, short title. The act may be cited as Immunization Infrastructure Modernization Act of 2021, Immunization Information System Data Modernization and Expansion, Immunization Information System Data Modernization and Expansion. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm going to post this link to y'all so you can read this bill personally. Here's the bill. You can click it. You can go read the bill yourself there, ladies and gentlemen. This is on congress.gov. Okay. Yeah, this doesn't look good. Conduct activities including with respect to interoperability, populating reporting, and bidirectional reporting to expand, enhance, and improve immunization information system that are administered by health departments or other agencies of state, local, tribal, or territorial governments used by healthcare providers. Awards grants or cooperative agreements to the health department or such government entities as administer immunization information systems of state, local, tribal, and territorial governments for the expansion, enhancement, and improvement of immunization information systems to assist public health departments in assessing current data infrastructure capabilities and gaps among healthcare providers to improve and increase consistency in patient matching, data collection, reporting, bidirectional exchange, and analysis of immunization-related information. 2, providing for technical assistance in the efficient enrollment and training of healthcare providers, including at pharmacies and other settings where immunizations are being provided, such as long-term care facilities, specialty healthcare providers, community health centers, federally improve secure data collection, improve secure data collection, transmission, bidirectional exchange, maintenance, and analysis of immunization information. Improve the secure bidirectional exchange of information of immunization record data among federal, state, local. No. This does not look good. Support the standardization of we talked about supporting of training immunization. What? How the activities will be supported by the grant. I really want to get Crenshaw on here and talk about this. He's like, why are you in favor of this? In connection with the consultation paragraph. A report to Congress. No later than 1 year after the date of enactment of this section, the Secretary shall submit a report to the Committee on Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions, the State Committee on Energy and Commerce, the House of Representatives, which includes a description of any barriers to public health authorities implementing interoperable immunizations information systems, the exchange of information pursuant to immunization records, reporting by any healthcare professional authorized under state law using such immunization information system. I can't agree with this. I cannot agree with this. Passed House of Representatives November 30th, 2021. This is HR 550. Let's go back to Congress. Let's go look at Crenshaw's vote on this. Oh, shit, this is under Trump. Never mind. It's not going to show the whole one. Let's go to the Liberty score. Let's go to the Liberty score, motherfuckers. All chambers. Let's go House. How do I go to the... There we go, Crenshaw. Darren Crenshaw. He's got a 74%. Okay. He was in favor of women in the draft. I like that. 22. When was this bill? This bill was voted on. No. Repeal authority of use of military force against Iraq. CR position was in favor. Repeal authorization for use of military force against Iraq. CR was in favor of repealing this. Crenshaw was not. When was this bill voted on? So-called COVID relief bill and 1.4 trillion special interest spending. Again, this is very misinformative because, again, special interest spending, what does that constitute? Crenshaw was in favor. CR says no. I can't use this. I'm sorry. I cannot us this Liberty report. It does not seem accurate. It's very, I don't know. Crenshaw's voting. Okay, there we go. Thank you. Thank you for that. Government.track.us. Okay, this is who was in favor of it. A lot of learning today. Thank you for this, guys. I appreciate this. Okay. 69% said yes. Okay, HR 550, Immunization Infrastructure Modernization Act of 2021. This was a vote to pass HR 550 in the House. The vote was taken under the House procedural call, suspension of rules, which is typically used to pass non-controversial bills. Votes under suspension require a 2/3 majority. A failed vote under suspension can be taken again. 80 Republicans voted in favor. 214 Democrats voted in favor. Non-voting were 9. Republicans against were 130. There were no Democrats against this. Republican yay. It's not showing. Oh, here we go. So thank you. All right. Let's go to Texas. Moving on down to Texas. Where's Texas? QRST. There it is. Okay. Republican. Go Martin Louie. Hey, Go Martin Louie. He's got an 86%. He's part of the Freedom Caucus. 86% in line with Trump's. He voted no against this, which is definitely more pro-liberty. Crenshaw said yes. Van Taylor, my representative at the 3rd, says no. Pat says no. Lance. All the Republicans said, I think, no vote from Brady Kevin. It looks like Gonzalez Tony out of Texas is 23rd. Burgess Michael out of Texas is 26th. And then Babin Bryan out of Texas 36 as well, or 26-36, are the only ones that voted in favor. Interesting. I'll have to get Crenshaw on here to explain this, why he voted in favor. We'll see. We'll see. I like that. Oh, by the way, here is the link to the chat. If you want to check this out, if you want to go verify, here is the link. This is www.govtrack.us. You can check that out. A lot of Republicans voting no. This is interesting. Well, there you have it, folks. I disagree with Crenshaw on this one. Unless there's more to this bill that I'm not looking at or that I don't understand. There you have it. Somebody says you also have to keep in mind Crenshaw vote is going to be representative of his district. But at the same token, though, like I don't care what my district. So here's the thing: if my district is going against liberty, then I'm voting against my district, because that brings up another question that I'd ask Crenshaw, and I talked about on the show. Is like, when you are elected, do you feel you are elected based upon representation of your own individualistic thoughts and ideas, or are you representing the thoughts and ideas of your constituency base? In my opinion, I would say if you're voting for me, this is where I stand. I am pro-liberty. This is what I'm saying. If you want me to represent you, this is what I'm running on. I mean, that's just the way I see it. If my district was saying that they want something anti-liberty, I'm voting against it as a representative. I honestly be like, I don't give a shit what you want on that point. If it's against the Constitution, I am not in favor of it. I will vote no. And if you don't like it, vote me out. That's just my stance on that. That's how I believe. So I don't know. Everybody has their own. They should vote how their constituency wants, but doesn't the constituency vote you based upon what you stand for? I don't know. That's weird to me. That's weird to me. You don't even know how to read the bill. We literally are just reading the bill right the fuck now. What are you talking about? What an idiot. I literally linked you the bill. Bye, you're banned. The bill is right here. I'm reading the bill. We just read the bill. Update and improve immunization information systems supported by the Center of Disease Control Prevention. I don't trust the CDC. I don't trust the CDC. Carrying out the activities described in the... We talking about you don't know how to read the bill's right here. We literally just read it. Am I Chat, I got like almost 500 people watching me. Am I reading this wrong? Public health authorities implement interoperable immunization information systems, the exchange of information pursuant immunization records, reporting by any healthcare professional, authorization under state law using immunization information systems as appropriate and pursuant to state law. I don't know how to read I'm reading the fucking bill right here. What are you talking about? Award grants, cooperative agreements to health. Supporting the standards. We read all this, and I've sent you the link. You can read it yourself. Improving completeness of data by facilitating the capability of immunization information systems to exchange data directly or indirectly with immunization information systems in other jurisdictions. How am I not reading this correctly? Enhancing the capabilities of immunization information systems to evaluate, forecast, and operationalize clinical decision support tools in alignment with the recommendations of the Advisory Committee of Immunization Practices as approved by the Director of the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention. Supporting the development and implementation of policies that facilitate complete population-level capture, consolidation, and access to accurate immunization information. Am I reading this wrong? What the fuck? I don't know how to read a bill. I'm reading the bill. Am I reading this wrong? Supporting the procurement and implementation of updated software, hardware, and cloud storage to adequately manage information, volume, and capabilities. Okay, so expanding the ability for people to store information. Supporting expansion of capabilities within immunization information systems for outbreak response. Supporting activities within the application or applicable jurisdiction related to the management, distribution, and storage of vaccine doses and ancillary supplies. Supporting activities to improve the scheduling and administration of vaccinations. And carrying out data standard. That's all under paragraph 1 in general. Strategy and implementation plan. No later than 90 days after the date of enactment of this section, the Secretary shall submit to the Committee of Energy and Commerce education implementation plan that identifies and demonstrates the measures the Secretary will utilize to update and improve immunization information systems supported by the Center for Disease Control Prevention, carry out the activities described in this section to support expansion, enhancement, and improvement of state, local, tribal, and territorial immunization information systems. Let me read that again. Carry out the activities described in this section to support the expansion, enhancement, and improvement of state, local... In developing the strategy and implementation plan under subsection, the Secretary shall consult with Health Department, other government entities, immunizations, information systems, state of law, professional medical association, public... I'm reading this bill live to you. He's sitting there saying, I'm reading the bill live. I do not like the idea of information sharing. That bothers me. I don't like that. Passed the House of Representatives November 30th, 2021. This bill just makes it law to do what they're already doing. CMS, Center for Medical or Medicare and Medicaid, already doing this via insurance coding. I don't like this. The link to the bill is right here, ladies and gentlemen. I'll post it again for y'all. You can read it. You can read it yourselves. I don't like this. There's the bill. Information sharing isn't bad. Exactly. Let me clarify. Information sharing isn't necessarily bad, but what information? That's the other part. If it's private medical information, no. I'm not for that. I don't like that idea. That bothers me. And I don't trust the federal government with my information. I know they already have my information. I'm probably on a watch list, to tell you the truth. But I don't like that idea. I mean, we already know there's a huge database collected now of who's already got COVID, who's got the vaccination, who doesn't. Hell no. This concerns me. So unless I am reading this wrong, I'm not sure what that idiot's talking about. You don't know how to read a bill. I'm reading the words verbatim. Unless I'm misunderstanding this, because I'll be the first one to admit I am not the sharpest tool in the drawer. Make your own informed opinion decisions. There it is for you. All right, that's it for me today, ladies and gentlemen. That was a lot. That was a lot. So you take that for what it is. Yeah, when Dan comes on, I do want to bring this up and ask him to explain why he's voting in favor of this. Because Crenshaw is saying that this limits the funding. I'm not seeing anything funding related in here. Or no, I am. It's talking about grants given. Awards grants to cooperative agreements to the health departments or such other governmental entities and administer immunization information systems of state, local. You know. There's that. All right, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I have for you today. I'm going to do more studying on this, more reading. We'll see. We'll see on this one. A lot of Republicans voted yes. A lot of Republicans voted no. I think they purposely stuffed these bills with a bunch of pork to get them passed. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. All right. That does it for me today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning into the show today. I apologize. It's probably a little dry, a little boring. Anytime you do stuff like that, I can understand how it's a little, yeah, I get it. I know. Makes sense. But there you have it. There's, in regards to the Liberty Score versus the 535 website, you can kind of do your thing there for yourself. Go determine it for yourself. If you disagree, go do your research. If you agree, do your research. Either way, I think Bongino and Crenshaw have some right and some wrong on this one, but I wanted to get to the bottom of that. So, again, y'all have a good day. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you check out shellshockcbd.com. Also, before I forget, if you want to get in on the holiday sale we're doing for New Year's, this is the link to sign up for the SMS list. No, we do not share your information. I am not for that. There's the link. Sign up for the SMS. We're going to text you out a code that's going to give you 30% off. This is our last big sale of the year coming up for New Year's. Last big one. So if you want to get in on it for shellshockcbd.com, sign up for the text message. We do not share our information. You have to opt in. There is the link. Thank you so much for all your love and support, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back tomorrow. For the All American Savage Show podcast. Until then, you stay savage, America.